Hey everybody, I'm Daniel. I'm joined today by Mr. GameOverJesse and Ilya. Thanks for tuning in to the
I'm Ilya.
Cast. Yes. And
Identity theft.
And we're just gonna jump into this news here. That was my whole intro. I'm skipping the rest.
Nice.
You can watch the rest of the intro on every other video. But we're gonna talk about a bit of pizza. It's not really news. It's a featured article on Nintendo Enthusiast, written by our good friend Mr. Brett Medlock. I hope I said that right. And this article is Nintendo makes the weirdest hardware. Top 10 most bizarre hardware, accessories, etc. That kind of thing. So, are we just gonna go through all of them, Jesse? Is that your plan?
Yeah, but quickly.
Quickly. Okay. Well, I'll jump in with the first one, and we can just take turns. So, first guy is Rob, that's an acronym for Robotic Operating Buddy. Rob, primarily known as Rob the Robot, which would be Robotic Operating Buddy the Robot, had a very short product lifespan and supported only a few games. Also received commands via optic flashes on your TV. Once the screen lit up, Rob was ready to receive one of his 6 commands. Nintendo had high hopes for the hardware, and though he wasn't around for long, he will never be forgotten. Luckily, we still get to see him kick butt in Smash. Yeah, I like... Rob is like such a weird little quirky accessory that kind of helps push the NES into people's homes.
Yeah.
Like, he was totally developed as a sales tactic.
Yeah.
Because kids want their toy robots.
Yeah, it is really weird though that Nintendo they literally designed a robot to play games with you.
Yes.
And it actually played decently well on
It
the games that it
worked,
was
yeah.
designed for, which is the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
That like it is a gimmick, but it's not like it actually works. Anyways, Ilya, do the next one.
Alrighty. The next one is the Vitality Sensor. Release date? Never. The Vitality Sensor is a cancelled accessory for the Wii. It was first announced by Satoru Iwata during Nintendo's E3 press conference in 2009. There is very little known about the Vitality Sensor and how it would have been integrated into video games. It was suggested by Iwata that it would have been used to relax the player, informing them about their heartbeat and body. I think Nintendo made the right decision not to move forward with this odd piece of hardware. It would have added very little to the gaming experience. So the picture they show is like that thing that like when you go to the doctor, they put that little clip on your finger
Finger
that
clamp.
measures your heartbeat. It's basically that.
Yeah, tells your heart rate stuff, which
I guess would be good for Wii Fit.
Yeah, I think this was part of their. They had a campaign they were going to do.
Yeah, like the health and wellness campaign thing.
Yeah, the
Yay.
something
My
of
body's
life.
ready.
Quality of life.
Yeah, the quality of
That was
life was there, and everyone thought it was going because they said it was going to be new hardware-based stuff. So everyone assumed it was like the NX or whatever. I think
part of it was the Wii Fit was part of that quality of life as well. That one actually did come out, but
so. There are
Fun.
games that are designed based off of stuff like this. Like there's it's a procedurally generated horror game that kind of changes depending on how you play, because if you try avoiding certain stuff, then the game will think that you're avoiding that stuff because you're afraid of it, so it'll implement more of that stuff.
oh, that's just rude.
Yeah. So, like if you are afraid of zombies or ghosts and you try to avoid like a ghost coming out, like I don't really know what the game actually did, but I just remember like watching a quick clip of it. But it did stuff like that to try to make it as scary as possible for the player. And I think something like this, because when you're scared, your heart rate goes up. So I think if you did use it in games, it would have to be something like that, I imagine. it, like for an actual game that's not just let's exercise and get healthy, to where
Right.
like it'll measure your pulse rate, and then on the parts that it thinks like you thought were like the most challenging or the scariest, maybe it would like add them in later on. If you've ever played, what was the PlayStation game? Oh no, I can't.
I played one game on the PlayStation. It was Tony Hawk.
Yeah, so this was a PlayStation 4 game. It was like a stereotypical slasher movie, like cabin in the mountains covered in snow, and it was like a story-based game, kind of like Life is Strange or whatever. And there are cutscenes between the chapters where you're talking to a psychologist, and he's like, every now and then he'll hold up a picture and be like, what do you see like at this, or what do you think is scarier, or what would you rather see? And depending on like what you said was the scariest is what would show up in the game.
Oh,
So
great.
it's kind of like the same idea, I imagine. But anyways, the next one is the Nintendo 2DS. I was not expecting this.
Me either.
Nintendo 2DS, released October 2013. The Nintendo 2DS was announced in August 2013. Soon after that, the handheld was released on October 12th, 2013, to coincide with the launch of Pokemon X and Y. The announcement came as a surprise to everyone. Yes, it did, because Miyamoto told everyone that they were not going to be making any other variations of the 3DS. So
That's a lie.
hearing the name 2DS for the first time was awkward and felt weird just saying it out loud. However, like most of the Big N's products, names like Wii and 2DS become natural after a short while. Funny how Nintendo has the ability to make those most bizarre names work out in the end.
It sounds like Brett's issue with this is not the hardware, but just the name of it. But,
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
I thought it was really weird when it first came out, too. I've never played a 2DS. So,
you know what
Me either.
kind of irks me about it is I like the idea of, okay, let's release a less expensive 3DS without the 3D feature, which is great because for me, like, I never play with the 3D on.
Very rarely for me.
I'll turn it on to like look at something and be like, that's cool, and then I'll turn it back off when I'm actually playing.
Right.
But so like that idea, okay, great, I love it. But I hate that they ditched the clamshell and made it like one piece. Like the
That was
folding part
dumb.
of the 3DS is like that's what makes me feel comfortable with it being, you know,
yeah.
because the thumbstick's not gonna get bent in my bag or something, or random buttons aren't gonna get pushed. You just fold it up. It's a very comfortable design with it folded up. This looks like it's the regular 2DS. I've tried to hold one. It's like big and awkward and weird, and it's just one.
It's like a giant Game Boy
Weird.
Color.
It looks like a
Yeah.
knockoff, like it looks like a knockoff product, basically, almost. You know, yeah. So it's weird. It's weird and uncomfortable.
I almost considered
So-
that Hylian Shield 2DS because it was clamshell. and it
Oh,
was
yeah, that one
Yeah.
looks really,
really
cool.
cool.
That's the
looking.
thing with the 2DS XL. They fixed it because
Yep.
they went back to the clamshell, and I'm like, that's perfect. If only I
That
didn't already
makes
have a
sense.
3DS, I would.
It also has a slightly different shape.
Slightly,
Yeah.
so it's weird.
Take us to the
Yes.
next one, Daniel.
Sure. I was about to start reading this exact same one you just read. The Virtual Boy, Nintendo's original failure. The Virtual Boy, released August 1995, was a short-lived virtual reality console that Nintendo released after the SNES. The idea of virtual reality gaming was grand, but Nintendo's Virtual Boy just couldn't execute VR gaming properly, given the hardware restraints at the time. Now, 28 years after its release, we are finally seeing other video games using today's technology to work on VR headsets like the Oculus Rift and the Sony PlayStation VR. Maybe Nintendo will take another whack at the VR game in the future?
They already
It's
did.
funny though because, well, they kind of already did. It's kind of like 3DS and VR, like 3D and VR
Yeah.
basically, way ahead of its time. Very much restricted by the fact that it was too ahead of its time to actually work properly, and there was like only a handful of games that were actually released for it. So
Oddly enough, I think it is the only Nintendo console to not get a Zelda game.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
And then,
Well, technically, the Wii U is the only one that didn't get like an exclusive Zelda game on its release, like on the Zelda game's release.
yeah.
Because it was. Oh no, Twilight Princess. Oh no, but then the GameCube had the Wind Waker, right? And then
Yeah.
Twilight Princess was this weird in between step, but then the Wii still had
Skyward.
Sword. Yeah, the Wii U never had a Zelda game that was released just for the Wii U, and then maybe re-released later.
Yeah.
Because Breath of the Wild was co-released.
Yeah, that's true.
Rip Wii U, I miss you.
The other interesting thing is I always say like the 3DS never had its own original traditional Zelda game, but it had the most Zelda games of any other console.
Kind of, because of Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, but like
That's
a reimagine.
And the
I
eShop
don't
games,
know.
you can get those.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can play like almost every 2D Zelda game, if not every 2D Zelda game on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Because either they were re-released or eShop.
Mm-hmm. Ilya,
It's neat.
do you want to take us? Wait, has any of you ever played the Virtual Boy?
No.
I have not.
No.
It would hurt my eyes.
I kind of want one as just like a collector's item more than anything else. But
I have a Virtual
Not that
Boy
I'm
in my Animal Crossing New Leaf.
that's hilarious. I love it.
What was it? There was. I played Mario Tennis for the Virtual Boy. I think that was the only game that I played for it.
Wow.
My cousin owned it. I thought it was the most bizarre thing in the world, and I think eventually they lost the power supply for it, and I think they just threw it out. So,
No.
Ooh, that would have been a good collector's
There's-
item.
yeah.
It's funny. I like how the controller looks.
No!
It
2D
almost looks
pads.
It almost looks like a precursor to the GameCube controller. You know,
Yeah, in the shape.
in the shape. Yeah, it doesn't look like it would actually be really any good to play with or anything, but I just like how it looks. But I like the symmetry. Okay.
That's fair.
Alright, Ilya, would you like the next one?
Take us away.
Yes, this one looks cool because I feel like it would make me feel like Buzz Lightyear. If anyone gets that reference. Anyway, the Game Boy Micro, released September 2005. I have never heard of this.
Really?
The Game Boy Micro, I was 10 at the time too, so depending on, at this point I was 10. The Game Boy Micro was officially unveiled by Nintendo at the company's E3 press conference in 2005. Oddly enough, the Game Boy SKU released after the Nintendo DS and was the last console for the original Game Boy line. The lifespan was short, seeing that the Nintendo DS was dominating in sales. The Micro is unique, to say the least. It was, and still is, the smallest dedicated gaming device you can find, and even came with the function to swap out multiple faceplates. You can still find these bad boys new on Amazon, but you'll have to pay a hefty price. And it's like, for anyone that obviously can't see it, it's like this glove, and there's like a thing on it with a bunch of buttons.
that's-
No, you're looking
Oh,
below.
am I looking at the wrong thing?
Yeah,
You're looking at the wrong picture.
Oh,
above, the Pikachu.
Above
sorry,
picture.
I'm talking about, I've took Jesse's.
You
That
just-
thing, that looks
no,
normal.
Elliot, no.
I'm
The
sorry,
Game Boy
I forgot the
Micro-
pictures were above.
Oh,
It's okay.
no.
Really tiny square rectangle, never mind.
The Game Boy Micros are nice. It looks very sleek.
It looks very simple.
But very small. But I mean, it's just like it's a really small Game Boy. Essentially.
Sorry, the next one's the one that made me feel like Buzz Lightyear.
But there's a used game shop like a few blocks down from me called Game Deals. If anyone's a Vancouver local, they're and into the gaming scene, they need to know about this store. 'Cause it's the
Don't
greatest
give away
game.
where you live.
And everyone knows. Everyone knows. I always talk about Vancouver. But
Well, yeah, but now they know
the,
like the area.
Oh
the
no.
store is too good to keep all to myself. I always tell people about this. But they have like a ton of these. They've got tons of Game Boy Micros for dirt cheap.
Yeah.
I've never bought one, but I've thought about it. But
The
Yes.
used video game store that I used to work at had not just like they had almost all of the different variations of the Game Boy Advance, and like they weren't like bagged or put up or anywhere. They were just like underneath the shelf, just literally thrown in there. And it's like nobody was interested in them. So maybe they're expensive.
The people take care at that store. Staff, like, they organize everything, they test everything. They won't sell it if they don't test it first. And then they've got like everything organized, every console generation. They have like a wall of shelves. It's just like stacks of consoles, used consoles that work.
Wow.
It's a beautiful store. It's a wonderful place.
All right. Well,
it's great.
I'm yawning again.
So there's my shout out. Game Deals. Game Deals video games.
Give Daniel a sponsorship.
I'm gonna tag them on Twitter when this video goes up.
So this next one's interesting because it makes me feel like Buzz Lightyear. So
I know, I screwed it up. I'm so confused by it too.
it is very confusing. Not actually made by Nintendo though, but endorsed by Nintendo. So it was in the movie. Yeah, you stole my.
I stole it.
Because that guy, he acts like he's really cool, and he's like, watch this.
It's so...
Hey everyone, it's me again, Elia Rose. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like, and comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the GameOverJesse channel, please consider purchasing a GameOverJesse t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/GameOverJesse, and much, much more.